All right, all right, all right. How you guys doing out there in the chat room? We've got a lot of faces here that I know from not only my channel but Twitter and from the channel memberships. I hope you guys are ready to learn something today. We're going to go a little different today. I know a lot of you guys often come to my channel to learn about Filmora, but today we're going to do something that's a little more intensive about what to do with that content that you create, how to get it onto YouTube and get it discovered. Can you guys hear me okay in the chat? Everything sounds okay? Everything looks okay? Let me know if we have any weirdnesses here. I got my banjo echoing in the background. I thought I'd be smart and change one of the guitars out. I have many different things, and I said I'll put my banjo up there, and now it echoes every time I yell. So good to see you guys out there. So listen, one of the things, let me get rid of this music. You don't need music playing under me. One of the things that I always talk about is what it takes to grow on YouTube. And I'm a guy who I've found a lot of success on the channel. Good morning, guys. Because I really leveraged a very specific strategy to get my channel to grow. And I want to share some of that with you. I think people sometimes get wrapped up in the idea of they're looking for that one button to push. What's the one thing I do, and suddenly my content will be discovered all over the platform and my channel will blow up. And I always spend a lot of time with the clients that I work with, the channels I consult with, trying to change their mindset, because it's not that. If you think YouTube is going to be like an instant burrito that you just put it in the microwave and hit, the 2-minute mark and you've got dinner, it's not. And that's the biggest thing that holds people back, is they think YouTube works a certain way and they keep doing things trying to get it to work the way they think it's supposed to work, instead of learning the way it does work and then embracing that and building something explosive. And my channel has been a prime example of that. I think I'm just under about 60,000 subscribers here now, and I'm not even at the 2-year mark on my channel. There's a lot of room for you to grow a channel today on YouTube, and I want to talk to you about how I go about it. The very first things, Doug, good to see you in there, pal. The very first thing I want to talk to you guys about is, a man with the hat, good to see you, my friend, is the different ways that people find your content. When you're building a YouTube channel, I think a lot of people make videos, they put them on YouTube and go, why isn't my channel growing? I've done the thing, I made the video, I put it on YouTube, and now YouTube hates me. And the reality is what you have to do is you have to spend a lot more time understanding how YouTube surfaces videos. And when we talk about surfacing videos, that means how that they put them out there that people can discover them. Okay. Now, originally I was going to do this stream for my members only because we get really deep, and this is going to get deep, folks. But I wanted to do this because I think a lot of you guys are at home and quarantined or sequestered or, practicing, the social distancing. And I figured, I'm going to give this to everybody today, give you an idea of the kind of stuff we talked about in our channel memberships. And if you want a channel membership, there's a join button down below and a link in the description. It's $4.99 a month. You can quit at any time. No long-term commitments. And we have our own Facebook group. We have our own private live streams. We have our own private content. And all we do is talk about how to grow channels. It's really, really in depth. So feel free to join if you'd like to. But one of the things we talk about a lot is understanding how YouTube surfaces videos, how they get them out to people. Because Todd Beaupre, who works for Search and Discovery over at YouTube, has said very specifically that YouTube doesn't find viewers for your video. What they do is they look at the viewers and they try to find the right videos that viewer might want to watch. So it's kind of the opposite of a way that a lot of people think. Like, you put up a video going, well, why am I not getting views? It's the other way around. YouTube isn't trying to find viewers for your video. They're trying to see if your video might be a match for a specific viewer and then present it to them. And if you can understand that and embrace that and say, all right, listen, I need to make very specific videos in a very specific way for a very specific audience that might want to watch these, then I'll have a better chance of having my videos surfaced, meaning brought up and discovered. All right. Now, let me share a screen with you. I want you to understand the very basic ideas of how videos get discovered in general. And those are called traffic sources. Let me do this. Let me show you this screen over here. This is right from the Google support page. And if you want to look at where the traffic sources from within YouTube, there's sort of 3 big ones that you need to pay attention to. And when I say 3, it's actually 2. One is YouTube search, and then the other 2 are suggested and browse. And those are both YouTube recommending your content. Both of these are YouTube taking your content and placing it somewhere, trying to match that video to the right viewer. But YouTube search is a very different thing, and that's one of the things I want to talk to you about as I scribble all over that. YouTube search is a different beast because it's based on the way that people think when they come to the platform. Now, this is, as they describe it right from YouTube, this is traffic from search results on YouTube. You can also see the search terms used by viewers if given by the viewer's browser or player. And this is really important to understand. Knowing that people are going to come to the channel and be surface videos in different ways makes all the difference. So first of all, let's embrace these ideas of what traffic sources are. Search is a place that your video might show up if someone came to YouTube, typed something into the search bar, and was looking for a very specific video or result. YouTube does a much better job at surfacing these videos because they already know what the viewer is looking for. The YouTube viewer has provided that information. So there's a way that you can actually start getting your videos to rank. I'm going to show you a lot of tricks today for that option. But I don't want you to think that that's the only way that you should be making videos, because I see people get so wrapped up in keyword research that they make these really wonky titles that don't make sense to the viewer, that words are twisted around and they're not even sentences. And the other thing I want you to remember is that that's only a portion of it, right? We said YouTube search, but if you really look over and think about the other traffic sources, those are the ones where YouTube is recommending content. Now, the two ways that YouTube recommends content, one, I'm going to start with browse here. Let me close this one up and let me show you browse. Browse is traffic from the home page or home screen. So that's right when someone comes to YouTube on their very home page and what they might be served from their subscription feed and other browsing features for both signed in and signed out viewers. All right. So an example of that would be, let me see. Here's my YouTube homepage, right? I've just logged into YouTube. I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't searched anything. It's like if you click the YouTube button up here, and you're just coming to YouTube, YouTube is, first of all, telling me about COVID-19, but it's automatically trying to guess based on my search history what I might want to watch next. I'm a huge Roberto Blake and Nick Nimmin fan, so I put this one right up front. Said, hey, Daniel, you like Nick and Roberto. Do you want to watch one of theirs? I'm also a huge music fan, so I got one from Rolling Stone. It's got some random stuff that happens to be trending in here. It's a bit of a mix. This is my buddy Sober Leon Silvestri, who is in one of our groups, who has a great new channel. He won a big contest we put on Tube Ritual. So I was working with him recently. So I was looking at his videos and talking to him live about how to grow his channel. So this is YouTube constantly guessing right when I come to the platform what I might want to watch. That's browse. This is unbelievably important. I tell people all the time, sometimes you get wrapped up in this keyword research, right? You get wrapped up in, well, how am I supposed to write the title and how am I going to be found on search? Brian G. Johnson in the house. How you doing, my friend? The guy I learned everything from. When you first put up a video, if you get so wrapped up in the keyword research that all you're thinking about is how will this be found in search, you're missing out on a huge component, because the minute you publish a video, it's going to be surfaced and put in front of real life people. Now, how many people it'll be put in front of depends on how big your channel is, how big your subscriber base is, how many people have interacted with your channel recently, how many people have watched a lot of your videos recently. They don't even have to be subscribed. You're putting up a video and YouTube is looking at whatever data it has to go, who might be the right fit? Who might want to watch this video? Which viewer base do we have information about? So a lot of times when you see bigger channels that get a lot of momentum going, it's because they built their channels over time. YouTube has learned a lot about the people who are interested in that channel. And when they publish a video, it's easier for YouTube to put it in front of a lot of people who they think might be interested because they've watched content from that channel before, right? But if you're a smaller channel and you're just trying to get out there, you go, well, what shot do I have? Like, how am I going to I don't have a big audience yet. Well, like, how do I get it surfaced? Well, there's tricks that you can do right off the bat. And one of the ways that Brian and I always talk about is leveraging search, right? Because you may not have a big subscriber base. You might have 0 subscribers and you're going, all right, well, how do I get this thing to grow? Who is YouTube going to put it in front of? YouTube will always put your content in front of somebody. Don't worry about that. It might be 5 people, it might be 10 people, it might be 5,000 people. But YouTube immediately starts looking at how those viewers react to the content. Do they click on it? Do they click on it quickly? Do they watch it? How much of it do they watch? So leveraging those things is going to be very important. But today specifically, I want to focus more on not just getting your stuff in front of people after you've grown a bit of an audience, but how you can leverage keyword research to start building that audience that might watch your content today. You can get them engaged, and then tomorrow those are the people who will get served your content more. All right, does that make sense where we're going with this? Because I think search is one of those things that sometimes people say, I've heard from different people like, well, keyword research, yeah, that's outdated, don't do it. I can tell you personally, keyword research is a lot of the component. Most of my traffic comes almost in thirds: search, suggested, and browse. And suggested, I should show you that one really quick so you understand. Suggested traffic is, let's close this one up. Suggested traffic is traffic from suggestions that show next to or after videos and from links in video descriptions, which is one of the reasons I always talk about, if you're going to write a description for your video, be sure to put a link to another piece of your content right up top. You know how when you look at a video, you'll have to click, you'll see the description, then it says see more, and it'll open up more of the description. If you're going to put a link to another one of your videos, put it above the see more. I call that above the fold. Don't make people have to click see more to find that link in your description. Put your quick first word, sentence of optimization in your description, get the next link in, and then continue your description. Because if you can take that one extra step of having to click see more out of the process, they're more likely to click, they're more likely to see it when they go down to comment, it's right there, and then they're more likely to click on that and go, oh, he's got another video right here, and watch that one, and then you can start becoming your own best suggested. But let's get back to the thing that I was talking about, and that's really keyword research. Now, when you create content, on my channel, one of the things I talk about all the time is how to make better content. We talk about how to make better hooks. We talk about how to make cooler effects, how to make it look better, better text, how to get everything better, better content. Content will always be king. You always want to make strong videos. No amount of great titles or great thumbnails will ever save a bad video. Because if people click and watch for 10 seconds and then stop watching, YouTube will get the idea that, oh, they clicked, but they didn't really watch much, so we won't recommend this one as much anymore. And that happens true in search too. If you have a video that is in search and people click and they don't really watch that much of, and someone else next to you, another guy, your competition, made a similar video that people are clicking and they're watching longer, that video will always move up the ranks before yours, and you'll get pushed out of rankings. But one of the things I really want to talk about here is how you can get your videos to get into those search rankings. And that has a lot to do with keyword research, understanding SEO, and creating titles and crafting titles in a way that those videos can find positioning and ranking, okay? This is not the only way, but let's focus on this one today. Search is important because if your video gets put out, let's say it gets put out there, YouTube puts it in front of a few people, it doesn't get clicked a lot. It may not be a bad video, it's just you didn't have a lot of momentum. But if you create the right title and you create the right packaging for it, a really great thumbnail, a really great title, and you've made a really great video, that video can find its way into search. So when people who may be looking for it later on, your video shows up way up at the top. And then when they're trying to find those over time, more people click and watch. More people start watching that video. And what happens at that point is YouTube learns more about the video because it slowly gains views. It slowly gains watch time. YouTube starts looking at all the different viewers who've clicked and watched and start understanding those viewers. And as that starts to grow, those viewer bases are all those data points that YouTube goes, okay, now we know more about this video. Now we could potentially serve it out to similar viewers. Or those very same viewers, they might want to serve some other content from your channel because they go, well, they watched this one and liked it. Maybe they'll like another one. And this process of building this ladder up as a brand new channel with no subscribers. My channel's not that old. It's under 2 years old. I had to do this. I had to come in with 0 and build it all the way up. So I started with targets that I thought maybe it won't get put in front of a whole bunch of people right off the bat, but if I can leverage search and start growing that way, get people to discover discovery, my content in search, then things like suggested and browse will come naturally afterwards as YouTube starts understanding my content more based on traffic data. Just people coming in, clicking, watching, commenting, all that stuff. YouTube starts looking and understanding those viewers. Are people sharing it? Are people watching 2 or 3 of my videos? Okay, cool. That means that the next time Daniel publishes, we're going to recommend more of his content to that person who was watching a bunch of his videos that they found in search, right? And search is important. It's not just about the right titles and everything. It's about understanding the language that your audience speaks, okay? So keep those things in mind, and let's get right into some of these things, all right? I'm going to get right over here and show you. Now, you guys know that I work for TubeBuddy. I work for TubeBuddy. I love TubeBuddy. I've also done a lot of work for Nico over at the Morning Fame channel. Some of my content is on his channel, and you guys probably use both keyword research tools, both Morning Fame and TubeBuddy. I have links down below to all of them, plus discount coupon codes if you are interested in either of these ones that I'm mentioning today. So I'm going to start right off the bat with TubeBuddy. That's the one I tend to use the most. And if we are looking at, if you're logged into YouTube and this little user interface up here on the right, if I click on that, that's the TubeBuddy user interface. We open up the Keyword Explorer. Now this is where I want to teach you guys something. Let me see if I can zoom in a little closer on this. That's a little better. When you're trying to develop a topic, we talk about packaging when we make a video. So you're about to make a video. The one thing I'll tell you right off the bat is never just make a video and then figure out how to package it. You always want to think about what you're going to make before you ever make it, right? It's almost like making dinner for somebody. Don't make people don't say like, oh, I'm going to make liver and, whatever, and onions, and then have a bunch of people over who go, not really interested. It's better to find out what they do like and then make that and then figure out a way to get it in front of them, okay? So this is what we're going to do. When you're talking about a subject, it could be any subject. Recently, one of my channel members, my friend Gabriella, she had a video she was making about like a flat iron. It's that thing that you straightens your hair out. So she didn't know what to title this thing. So the way we started was we go, well, let's start with the target. Let's type in a word like flat iron, okay? Now, in this case, TubeBuddy will automatically start giving you a bunch of different options based on what it thinks I'm looking for and what people have typed into the search engine. But I always start with this one target. Find the target first. And we'll do this first with TubeBuddy. So here's flat iron. Now, I have a licensed TubeBuddy, and so it gives me this weighted score. But in the unweighted score, the first thing I look at when I'm looking at any of this is I look at what's the search volume. Do a lot of people search for this? Yeah, that's a great target. But what's the competition? Really, really poor. It's way down in the red. And the optimization strength, which is how many videos have titles that start with flat iron. That's the real secret here, is figuring out where you might have some opportunity. Have a lot of videos been made about this target? So I'll start here and I'll go, okay, listen, TubeBuddy does a great thing where it automatically starts highlighting exact matches in bright yellow. So if I start looking how many times I see flat iron here, there's a lot of flat iron right up top and right in front. So I'll go back and go, oh, that was probably not a great, I can't go with just flat iron. Let's go a little longer. Maybe it's a flat iron on short natural hair or curl short hair. If it's something that makes sense for what I'm doing, I'll start going a little deeper with that. And as you see, the score got a little better. And the reason it got better was I started narrowing in. It's not as much search volume on this one, but there's not a lot of competition. See, it's way over here up in the good. And the optimization strength, boy, if I can teach you anything, I want to teach you guys something. Most people use the TubeBuddy Keyword Explorer and Morning Fame's keyword research tool the wrong way, because there's a big piece of missing information that comes in the form of optimization strength that I want to explain to you. Let me see if I can give you a good example. All of us right now are living in this decade where, like, you go into the grocery store and half the shelves are empty. They're empty because people are buying all kinds of stuff. So if you go into a bread aisle and you just want a loaf of bread, sliced bread to make sandwiches, guess what? The supermarket's sold out of that. But they're not going to leave that aisle empty. They're going to grab some other bread and try to put it in there. Maybe it's these sandwich rolls, or maybe it's like a submarine or hoagie roll, or whatever you call it in your area. And it's different types of bread, pita bread, other types of bread, right? Rye bread, all these other different things that aren't quite the sliced sandwich bread you wanted, but that's what the supermarket has left, so they put it out in the bread aisles. These tools are not much different. When you put in a search term like flat iron short natural hair, what's going to happen is the tools are looking at what YouTube is surfacing for results. And some of those results may not be that sliced bread that you were looking for, but it's what they have. It's what they have. They said, well, we may not have the perfect sliced bread, but we've got this other thing that's very close to what you're looking for. And when we talk about keyword research, we call those semantically similar results. They're close, they're bread, they're in the bread aisle, but they may not be the bread that you're looking for. So when we're looking at these keyword explorers and keyword research tool, make sure you understand what that optimization means. This optimization is so important. And when you see in the TubeBuddy tool, when it's way up in green, let's do a simple thing. Let's go over to the results tab and let's look at what's being surfaced. The number one video being surfaced for flat iron short natural hair does not have those same words in that exact order. You'll see these lighter yellow ones. It's similar. It's semantically similar. This is the Syrian bread. This is the pita bread. It's close. It's got a similar subject, but it's not a video that has the exact words in the exact order. Neither is the second. Neither is the third, fourth, fifth. I'm rolling down looking for the bright yellow text that would tell me these exact words in this exact order. And it's not till I get to number 23 that I find this one video that has managed to stick itself in between 6 million views and 21 million views with a video with 8,000 views. Can you see that? Can you see what just happened there? 8,000 views got stuck in between a video with 6 million views. This one has 6.12 million views. And then the one after it has 21.6 million views. Digest this. Optimization. YouTube was serving the bread it had when people were asking for sliced bread. So if you can go in and you can make a better sliced bread, something that people are really looking for, the exact match to the thing that they really wanted, not something kind of similar, not something pretty close, but if you can nail it, this is where you can leverage search. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense so far? Sometimes I move pretty quick. If that makes sense, just tell me like in the chat. Yes, I kind of understand that, Daniel. It makes sense. I have to look at optimization. Is it the right bread that they're looking for? Is it the sliced bread? Are there a bunch of sliced bread videos? Because if there aren't, even if the numbers seem high, you might be able to make a video that doesn't have to perform anywhere near those other ones to get your foot in the door, right? Let me go back here for another second and let me show you something. Back on the where we're looking at this one. So when you look at this, let's go back to this summary. For those of you who have used the keyword research tool, and this is why I said you're using it wrong. Let's look at the weighted score, okay? Right now, it is telling me that there is a video that has 6,000, whoops, I'm just rolling. I'm just making a mess over here. Just under 7,000 views. It has just under 7,000 views. And that might be the video we just saw. That was an exact match, right? So if I go back over to the results tab and I scroll down, I think this one it's a little higher now. It's just hit 8, but that's the video they're talking about. But here's an interesting thing. There's only that one video. A lot of times, you'll look into the results and you'll see that gateway video or that target video that seems to be the one that either TubeBuddy or Morning Fame is telling you, yeah, it's this many views. A lot of people will think, oh, I need to beat that many views to knock them out of position. Well, guess what? If the video that happens to be holding that target spot or that gateway spot is not well optimized for the target, it's easier to knock them out. Because if the video that's falling in and it managed to sneak its foot in the door and maybe it's just a little closer to the target, but it isn't perfectly optimized, that means that YouTube is surfacing that pita bread for the sliced bread thing that people are really looking for. So when you look at optimization, you can make a video that's the dead-on match to that target. And if you beat that other video and knock it out of place, the entire scores change on both TubeBuddy and Morning Fame. And they start reporting to everybody else, oh, you now need to beat this video to get into ranking. And your video may have done it with 1,000 views. So suddenly a target that looked like you needed to have 8,000 views to rank for that, but it had a very poorly optimized video, only semantically similar as the target video. If yours can take that out of contention, you become the new high watermark, or low watermark for that point. You become that new target video or new gateway video, and all the scores change. You can change the scores on TubeBuddy. You can change the scores on Morning Fame by being a better optimized video that snuck in the door as a better optimized video that people wanted to watch. I always try to say this as well. Getting your stuff discovered is not the end of it, because this is just putting your stuff in front of people, which is all of it, right? You got to get it in front of people so that they can find it. But if they don't click, if they don't watch, or if they do click and then they just only watch a little bit, then all of your rankings will slowly fall out and your video won't stay there. The one we just looked at a minute ago, it looks like she's got 8,000 views. And if we clicked on this, I bet you she's got a certain amount of decent watch time. So not only is this one well optimized to fit right in between these videos with millions of views, but I bet you it's really well optimized, and she's probably got some good watch time on there. So YouTube knows this is a pretty good target that not only matches what people are searching for, but it also probably has some decent watch time, and they know it's a good bet. It's only at 8,000 views now, but you watch. Give that video another year. I bet you the thing will be up to, 50,000 views. So because that's what happens. If you can put a video into a search position and make a decent enough video that's really well optimized for the thing that person's looking for, and get it to snug into those upper results, somewhere in the top 10 or 20, so that it can be discovered easily, then that video can grow over time. Okay? It can grow over time. And that's super important to trying to get that data into your channel, and sent on to YouTube, so that they go, we know more about this video, we know more about the viewer that enjoys watching it, and we can place it better with other viewers with similar watch habits and histories. Does that make sense? Christian, good to see you out there. Barbara, good to see you out there too, my friend. So that's the first place to start. And let me show you this. This is also true of, let me click over to Morning Fame. For you guys using Morning Fame, another great tool, I have it down in the description. They use slightly different data points, but if we said Flatiron again, and we put that into the keyword the keyword research tool, it would give me grades based on whether it thought this was a good video or not. Now, Morning Fame does it a little bit different. It puts the relevancy here in the shape of a black bar and how much space. The relevancy score shows me an 88 of the other gateway video. It's really well optimized. And if I scroll down, I can go, yep, there it is. It's got Flatiron right in the title in bright yellow. I can see it. That's the one right now that's holding in there with almost 14,000 views. But then we go back and we do a similar thing. Nico made a great tool here where if you say Flatiron and put a space, it'll start showing you options. You can even use Brian's technique by adding like an A, and it'll give you all the options for the suggested longer tail keyword terms that might start with A next, or B, or C. Great way to find some targets really quickly. Use this alphabet method that Brian likes to use, because it'll start showing you a lot of options of what people have already searched for with words that start next with a C. But even straight up Flatiron, natural hair. Here's that short natural hair that we tried looking at in TubeBuddy. So if you clicked on that, the same thing. Morning Fame starts automatically telling us, hey, that's a better grade for relevancy. And look at the amount of space here between the video that's ranking and the total relevance. There's some room to grow. There is some room to grow. And we start seeing very similar patterns of everything. In this one, we've got Flatiron, the gateway. This is a great example. So this is our target right now from up top. See if I can show you this clearly. Right now, I went with Flatiron short natural hair. Now, for Morning Fame users out there, and this is a very similar thing for TubeBuddy, if you're used to using Morning Fame, you will see how many views does the gateway video have. And down here it says, well, they've got 14.3. And you go, well, that's a crappy target for me, because I have to beat 14,300 views just to rank. But wait a second. Let's look at that carefully. Let's scroll down. Our search term is flat iron short natural hair. But the gateway video that's ranking here is not flat iron short natural hair. It's flat iron and cut short natural hair. Not an exact match. And that's why this video is starting to work its way up. That's why this video has snuck its way in, and it's starting to make its way up the charts here. And I'll tell you right off the bat, both of these people she should have taken this exact term and used it down in her description. Because if she has it in her description, that's going to be better optimized. Right now, she's got about an 87% relevance. I would rather have seen her repeat those keywords down into her description in a natural way. But that's where I'm talking about that you can change. If you made a video tomorrow that was using the exact terms, flat iron short natural hair, in the title, you try to work that in a way that it made sense, and you had it in your description, your video might do well and have 2,000 views, and it might take over this gateway video spot and knock this one out. And if you came back to Morning Fame would report differently. It would no longer say 14,000 views. It would say 2,000 views because your video was the sliced bread, the better match, the good performing video that was better than the semantically similar one that was being served to everybody else in results. So I want you to really think about your keyword research tools and don't just look at a grade or don't just look at a score. Learn the data. Are there open holes in there? Is YouTube serving stuff that's close, semantically similar, but not exact? Relevancy, optimization. How well is the target being served exactly? Not something close, not the pita bread, not the garlic bread, not the submarine rolls, sliced bread. That's what someone typed into the search engine. How many sliced bread, maybe we're making a sliced bread recipe, and how many start with sliced bread recipe? Because if they're not that exact match, there might be an opportunity. Underserved targets, videos that are made to exactly match the searches people are putting into the search engine that may not exist. And if there's a hole and if there's spaces in there, fill those spaces. Fill them. Make those videos, okay? Now, one of the other things I want to talk to you guys about, which is really important, you guys hanging in there in the chat, just making sense? Quickly, Josephine said, I'm sorry, but how do you find which video is the gateway video in TubeBuddy? That's really easy. Let me pop you over here really quickly. If you are, let me zoom in a little bit here. If you are using TubeBuddy, and this is the Keyword Explorer, if you have a pro license, any license at this point, you can do this. Any license beyond the free will give you this right here, this little target down here, and it will tell you what video is currently ranking for how many views. They move quickly, so sometimes they're a little bit off, but that's the video. But even if you don't have that, you can sometimes find it just by using the search engine and going down and finding which video in the top 30 has the lowest amount of views. But TubeBuddy does it automatically and shows you right here. That's why they call it their weighted score. And the weighted score, again, another thing I want you to remember. This is really important. Both TubeBuddy and Morning Fame use your average video data based upon your channel performance. Digest that. TubeBuddy does not know your specific niche. Morning Fame does not know your specific niche. They know in theory, but they're not comparing your videos against how well you'll do based on the kind of channel you are. They're both just looking at your average views on your channel. Whether you're, like if I put in, right now I'm putting in flat iron, short natural hair, and right now, like TubeBuddy's telling me that's a good target for you, Daniel. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's just based on the average it's just based on the average amount of views that I'm putting out there. It's not a good target. It's taking my average views that I get on my channel overall and comparing it to the video that's managed to rank in the top 30 and seeing how I compare, what my odds are. It's looking for opportunity. But neither one of these tools have the ability to look at audience response or the kind of niche that I'm in. Some people think that these tools are automatically looking at me and going, oh, well, it's factoring in, Daniel, if you looked at Filmora, that you would do better for Filmora. It doesn't, neither one of the tools really do that. they do on a deeper level if you want to dig into them, but they're really looking at the average amount of views that you get on your channel per video, which is also something you have to understand. It's not deceptive, but you have to understand data research. So let's look right back at that really quickly. Let's look at this one. Here is, let's go, you guys know that I do Filmora, so let's try this again. Let's say that Daniel says, hey, I'm going to try a Filmora video. So let's start with the big target, Filmora. Right now, TubeBuddy's saying, yeah, Daniel, your chances of ranking on Filmora aren't that good. Well, why is it saying that? If I tried to make a video that was titled Filmora, it's saying that based on the fact, let's read the data. Lots of people search for it. The competition is heavy. A lot of people have made videos about it. And the optimization is pretty tough. It looks down. We always want green. So if we go a little deeper and go, well, let's look at the results. What's being served? What is YouTube serving? Are they serving sliced bread? Or are they serving different types of bread and filling the shelf? And when we go in here, look how many bright yellows. Oh, man, there's a ton of, oh, man. Oh, boy. I'm even in there for a lot of them. Thank you very much. But Filmora. There's a lot of bright yellow Filmoras, and a lot of them are me. But neither one of these tools understand that I'm a Filmora guy. It's totally based on the average views that the Gateway video has currently, which is just under 4,000, and my average views, which is a little over 8,000. But what you have to understand in that data is it's taking an average. It assumes this is what you get on average, a little over 8,000 views on a video. So that might be a tough target based on the fact that we think you get on average 8,000 views. Now, I make videos that get 400,000 views. So I have to ask myself, is this the kind of target that I think I could get a lot of views on? They're just giving me the data. They're looking at my, both tools will say, here's your average, and here's what the video that's managed to rank in the top 30, that's how many views they have. But it's just data points. So if I looked at that and always thought, well, I'll never get more than 8,000 views on any video, so I guess I can't rank for this. And I know in my head, wait a second, I have videos just in the last couple of weeks that have driven 15, 20,000 views. Just in their first weeks of being up. So I think I can rank. It's an average. Some of mine don't do as well. It's the whole channel. So remember that you're dealing in averages and understand. Ask yourself, look at the target video in there. When you look over that and say, okay, well, there seems to be a video here that is ranking pretty well with under 4,000 views. Can I make a video, even though it says starting a video with Dish Filmora is a poor target, can I make a video that will perform well, that the audience will like, and will have more than 4,000 views? I'll tell you right now, all day long. So you have to understand the data, okay? And when I start thinking about this, let me take you to the next level. I want to go deeper here. Don't just, I use different tools. I use Morning Fame. I use TubeBuddy. They're both great tools. They're both great tools in different ways. Don't ever compare them because they have different data points they pull data from. TubeBuddy uses the top 30 ranking results. Morning Fame uses the top 20. They're all aggregated data points that they're making their best guesses of opportunity. So you always want to pick a tool that makes sense to you and works and stay with it. It's almost like, it's if you were flipping the dice for opportunity or flipping the coin, right? Just keep choosing heads. And 50% of the time you'll end up getting it, right? Don't keep going back and forth because you might be throwing your odds off. Find a tool that works, stick with it, use it. Don't go back and forth and worry about it. But these are just trying to find data points, okay? These are just opportunity that might exist out there for you guys. When you're looking at that data, when you're starting to do some keyword research, I want you guys to go deeper than just the tools. Start understanding some other tools that can help you develop these targets, right? Because I see this a lot. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about. Like that particular video that we were just pulling up of that target from before was this one here. It showed me that people type in things like flat iron, short, natural hair. Now, realistically, people, we're making videos that are going to be served to human beings. How many people would understand what you're talking about if you came up and said, flat iron, short, natural hair? You'd look at them like, excuse me? What are you trying to say? So we also want to think about how we create and craft titles that are natural, that make sense, that become organically easy to digest for the person who's looking for that thing. So you might take a title that the target said flat iron short natural hair, and start it with something like flat iron, space it out, short natural hair techniques, or short natural hairstyles you can achieve. Something that uses those words in that order, but adds more onto the end of it to make it more of a natural sentence. And you always want to play around with that and see how you can make a more flowing, natural sentence from your target. Not just, I see people jam all these words in because it's just so happens to be something someone typed, and not every target works well. Some of them just don't work well. Flat iron short natural hair might be something that's like, that's a bad target. It's just really hard for me to make a natural flowing title from it. But if we were talking about, let me go back to Filmora, because that's one I use a lot. I want to make a Filmora video. Let me do the Filmora trick. We'll do Brian's trick with an A. Filmora audio editing, or Filmora advanced editing tutorial. All right, I'm starting with Filmora. That might be a better target. It's got a little bit low results, but I would go through this and try to find a target that made sense, for me. Because I want to find something that is natural. Filmora advanced editing, something that I could make a video title and go, that's got some pretty good opportunity in it. And it's a more natural thing that I could make a title that said Filmora advanced editing tips and tricks, right? I could put that to the end, make it more compelling, and do something longer. So think about that. But the next step I do from here, a lot of people will do this and then they give up and then they stop. They go, well, I did my research. There's so much more you can do. Let me show you some of the things that go even deeper, okay? Now, let's say we were using, I'll stick with Filmora because it's something I do, right? Filmora. If you want to find out more about these targets, right within the TubeBuddy Keyword Explorer, you can click on the historical tab. And if it has any historical results from Google Trends, it'll put it here. But you can also do another thing, is open up Google Trends. And this is Google Trends. If you look up, just put Google Trends into Google, and the actual website is trends.google.com. But you can actually start getting information directly from YouTube based upon how these keyword targets are actually being searched on the platform. Real data. Because the tools are giving you ideas for opportunity, but you might want to get a little deeper. So I'm always going to places like Google Trends, and I'll go, all right, well, let me start here. I'm going to say Filmora. And what Google Trends will do, it will pull this up in a very specific way. You have drop downs here. It's pulling up for results in the United States over the past 12 months in all categories under web search. But let's be clear here. I don't want web search. I want YouTube search volume. So we do the drop down and hit YouTube search, and this will give us a better idea. Now, Filmora was really big and it had flatlined recently. So this is one of those things you learn about, like, which targets are doing well. I can tell you right here, this is probably right when they drop the new product out. They always surge when they do a new update. So if there was a new Filmora 9 or 9.3, that's when it surges. But you can also do things like scroll down and look at down here. You'll see things like related queries, other things that people search. Wondershare Filmora 9, and the exact way they type it, right? You can start looking at, all right, Filmora might be a bad target, but what about Wondershare Filmora exactly as they did it, space 9? That's how people are typing it in. And it'll start comparing these graphs. See that? You got a blue and a red. Filmora might be a target I'll never rank for, but I can start looking at some other ones down here and go, okay, there's some potential down here. I can actually see the rankings. And you can start comparing using trends. You can remove some of these out of here. Here's Wondershare Filmora. Maybe there's another one. Maybe there's Filmora effects. And I can start thinking about, is there something I can do here? And see these graphs I'm creating? Maybe if I'm going to do a Filmora video, I start with the word Filmora, but effects based on this graph right here is telling me, man, people like this. People search. Look at that. Look at that red bar right there. And look at this red graph. It's taller than the blue. So people tend to search Filmora effects based on this data more than they search Wondershare Filmora 9. So I'm starting to do the research. I'm starting to zero in on my target. So I go, all right, that's pretty cool. And you can keep adding here. Maybe I should try, what other things do I know about Filmora? Filmora transitions. I know a lot of people like doing transitions. Is that a good one? More data right here. Now we've learned that of these 3 targets, that Wondershare Filmora, the one in blue, was the middle ground one. Filmora Effects was a stronger target, right? But the Filmora Transitions was a slightly weaker target. So I start learning about how people are searching for stuff, how much volume is out there, if it's really important to people on YouTube, using Google's own data to tell me if people are searching for it. And then I go back. Then I use those tools. Then I go back into TubeBuddy, or then I go back into Morning Fame and go, all right, I'm going to start comparing some data. Because TubeBuddy tells me some basic stuff based on channel averages, so does Morning Fame. They give me some ideas of where I might rank, but I want to go deeper. I want to find out more. I want to see more of what's going on. And I want to see if I can find out from Google themselves what's going on for full search volume. Because one of the things is that Google releases full Google search data in the keyword planner, but it doesn't release the YouTube search volume. It does more of a graph, and it gives you like a 1 to 100. So we don't get exact search volume. So all of the tools out there are using best guess data based on what they're being served. But if you go right to Google, you can actually see the graph and go, well, I may not know what the exact number points of those graphs are, but at least I know this has got more search volume than the next one. So if I'm going to make my next Filmora video, I'm much better off thinking about using that Filmora Effects because it gets searched more than Filmora Transitions does, or Wondershare Filmora 9. So I start dialing in the way where I might find those opportunities. But then I can always go back and go, let's see, all right, let's go back to Morning Fame. Let's try this one again. Let's check out that Filmora Effects. Is there something for me in here? Filmora Effects. That seemed pretty strong. Let me search that in Morning Fame. And Morning Fame says, hey, Daniel, that's not a bad target. That's not a bad target. Morning Fame has a deal where what it does is it gives you these double check marks here. So it tells you this target has search volume both on YouTube and on Google. It can confirm both. And you go, all right, okay, cool. And I scroll down and I go, okay, who's the gateway video? Look at who the gateway video is. This dude has number 7. Can I scroll? Let me get a little closer on here. Can you see this? This dude managed to get, and this is Don V. Actually, I know I've seen Don V. He makes good videos. But he's managed to become the gateway video for the target of Filmora Effects with a video titled Freeze Frame Sequence Effect Filmora. It's not the exact search term. It's not the exact target. It's semantically similar. It's that pita bread again, that when I was looking for sliced bread, we don't have enough sliced bread. We don't have enough Filmora Effects videos that start with the title Filmora Effects and maybe some more added words. But we have this one. We have this one here. We have this freeze frame sequence effect. Yeah, how's that? You want to buy that one? Now, nothing against Don V, but I'm sitting here learning right now, like, Daniel, I would make a few more videos that start with the terms Filmora Effects and then take it from there. Maybe that's Filmora Effects tutorial, maybe put a hyphen and teach a specific effect and add that on there, you know, like how to use the Force or how to fly like Superman, right? And that's how I will build out a title, by looking at the data points, coming back and forth from several different tools, several different data points, and moving back and forth. Is that making sense to you guys? I know I talk a lot and I move kind of quick, but this whole balancing of going back and forth and understanding more than just what the tool tells you, understanding the data, researching deeper than where you're at than just using the tool is super, super important. No Filmora questions today, my friend. I will have a Filmora live stream for you this coming week, but I will cover some then. A nice banjo. Thank you, Christian. It echoes every time I talk. It's like, it's like clang over here. So listen, that's one of the things you can do, but there are more tools. Let me show you some other things that you can use. Google Trends is a huge one. I use that a lot. There's a great one here that my friend, Salma Jaffrey turned me on to. And it's called explodingtopics.com. I want to show you this one. This is Exploding Topics. It's got a much more narrow focus. It's not going to give you every little detail like some of the other tools we use. It just deals with big trending topics. And you'll see that it has very specific points where you can enter some data. In this case, it gives you the option of how many years it wants you to talk about and the different categories. Okay? Now, I don't want to know what's going on in the last 5 years. I want to do something similar. I want to find out, are there any exploding topics in my niche for the last 3 months? Okay. And in categories, right now we have no specific category. You can click categories and you can choose all, it starts with all categories, or you can start using different ones and you can add them together. You can say, I want to know what's going on in the business, also fashion, and health. And it'll mix those three together and give me results based on those ideas. All right. But if I just start with the basic exploding topics, let me go back one here. You'll see that what might be getting surfaced recently in the last 3 months, this makes a lot of sense. Vitamin C. Well, why would that be an exploding topic? Well, everybody's worried about their immune system. So you go, oh man, maybe I should make, if I'm in the health field, if I'm doing fitness and health videos or anything like that, maybe I need to make a video about the benefits of vitamin C. Does it work? Does it not work? Does it actually help you? Will it protect you from catching a flu, catching a cold? Make that video. Learn what's exploding out there. But you can do this for all sorts of things. You can totally change the categories and say, well, I want to know more about money and legal advice. And then we start getting into things that are exploding. I don't know what Webull is, mortgage rates, visual capitalist. You can start looking at what this, I don't know what gotcha game is, but you can start finding things like dividend growth, alternative data. And exploding topics will show you either in green. If they're green, that means it's exploding. If it's in blue, it means it's just sort of moving regularly. Not bad. You can see the trend. And if it's in red, it usually means that it kind of has already peaked and is coming back down, though it still doesn't mean that that's not worth exploring. But explodingtopics.com is a great way to start figuring out some ideas. You start finding things like if you're in the financial business and you see that mortgage rates is an exploding topic, then you go back to Google Trends and plug in mortgage rates. And then you start thinking about longer to see if it brings up anything else. In that case, I just saw it. I said, okay, well, I don't know anything about this, but it says mortgage rates. That's an exploding topic right now. Can you see this? So, all right, perfect, mortgage rates. I don't know a whole lot about mortgage rates, but let me see what I can learn from that. If I'm a guy who's going to do some financial lending, I go into one of our tools and I say, well, let me look what TubeBuddy has to tell me about mortgage rates. And what it tells me is, guys, anybody out there in the financial field and you want to make a video right now, start with mortgage rates. Right now. Make your video today that starts with the word mortgage rates. Mortgage rates. What you need to know in the current environment. Mortgage rates. That is an excellent target. It says the tool is telling us right there, look at how great that target is, right? Can you see that okay? We found the data on another website, brought it back into TubeBuddy, and it's telling us, okay, look at this. You've got a video this is a huge, excellent search. There's lots of search volume. There's over 3 million videos being served, but there's someone who's managed to get in the top 30 with 120 views. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? So let's go see how well optimized these videos are. First one starts with mortgage rates and has mortgage rates in the, that's number 7. First one doesn't even have mortgage rates in the title. Second one says mortgage interest rates. Third one has mortgage rates. Fourth one has mortgage rates, but not as the first words. Fifth one does, sixth one doesn't. And as we start scrolling down, we start seeing some of these videos are ranking in here that have mortgage rates either way far back in the title or they've only got pieces of it. Like here's one, number 15. There's a mortgage REIT meltdown. So this is opportunity. This is when we talk about opportunity. Are there holes in the bread aisle that you can fill? Because if everybody up top has perfectly optimized, they've got that one right in their title and they've got it right in the description, you go, yeah, that's not a great target for me. There's not a lot of room for me to wiggle my way in as a small channel. But if there's holes, see if you can fill those holes. Let me show you another website that I really like. And it's a website called Answer the Public that some of you might know about. It's really, really cool. Now, it used to be free, or it was free to a certain level. I think they let you do one free search a day. And it's paid after that, but you can search right off the bat. Let's use that mortgage rates as a target. That was our target. You go, okay, Daniel, you said that mortgage rates is something I should make a video about, but what the heck do I title my video? So you put the word mortgage rates into the search and hit search. And if you look, Answer the Public will now sit here and it will try to come up with a bunch of targets based on that particular term. Now, this is a little hard to see. I know I can scroll in a little bit. It's small words. but it'll start doing things like it'll create potential titles for you. Here's why. Why mortgage rates increased. Why mortgage rates are rising. Why mortgage rates are high. Why mortgage rates are going down. Why mortgage rates are dropping. These are all potential video titles that you could make a video about. How? How mortgage rates work. How mortgage rates are determined. How mortgage rates are calculated. Targets, titles. These are how you can take these particular targets and turn them into titles. And there's not just one graph. If you use this website, scroll down, you're going to see prepositions, for, to, near, mortgage interest, like near, mortgage interest rates near me. If you wanted to look at to, mortgage rates to drop, UK, mortgage rates to come down, mortgage rates to increase. And there's more. Comparisons and or versus. Mortgage rates versus APR. Can you guys see where we're going here? Research, research, research. Research, research, research. Don't just open up your keyword explorer or your keyword research tool, pump in something, make some convoluted title, and go, well, that's it. That's my title. That's my video. I'm on to the next thing. Start thinking about how you can develop titles that are really great, that are really strong, that are natural, that are targeted around research that goes beyond just the tool you're using today, and you start learning about the data behind it. Let me learn from Google what's going on out there. Let me learn from Exploding Topics what might be trending. Let me use Answer the Public to help me really craft some titles that are based on things that people actually put in the search bar. Those things, when it says from the Answer the Public, these are actually topics that people have typed in. It does an amalgamate of things that it's found that are questions people ask. Now, I use other tools like Keywords.io, and there's a couple other ones that I use. They've become paid. I wanted to focus more on just the stuff that you can kind of use right today. Because I know some of you are already Morning Fame users, which is a paid software for the keyword research tool. The TubeBuddy one is the Keyword Explorer, which does have availability for, even if you're brand new. In the free version, you can start using the Keyword Explorer. It just won't show you the target video, and it only lists in each category to the right. It'll only give you the top 3 results. But you can use it today, the free version, to start accessing some of these ideas of where's the possibility for me to do well, how well optimized are the videos. I can look at the results and I can get all that stuff really quickly. Super powerful. So that's what I want you guys to think about right now when you're doing some of this keyword research. Start comparing different data points and bring them into your keyword research tool to get a better idea of whether or not these targets and titles that you're crafting might actually work for your channel. Because if you can make a great video with a great title, a really great title that already has keywords in it that are lined up and written in a way that you know people are typing into the search engine, and you make a great thumbnail, and then your video is strong, people click it and they watch. I don't care if that's the first 6 or 10 or 6,000 or 10,000 people that see it. If people click it, watch it, and watch a lot of it, YouTube is going to be more likely to recommend that piece of content. But getting that in front of people, get discovered, is all about really digging deep into your targets. Target first. Don't start with a title. Start with a target. If you want to make a video about, the new iPhone, then type in iPhone. Start there, and then start working your way broader and start using the different tools to find a title that maybe you can make a video about that's still about the iPhone, but about a portion of that, a longer tail, a wider target that maybe your video might show up in search for. Maybe the iPhone, starting with just an iPhone 11, is something you won't get discovered. But maybe if you find that iPhone 11 best new apps, best unknown apps for the iPhone 11 might get you discovered, and maybe that's the video that you need to make, especially if you're new, and especially if you're trying to find those holes out there to get into those spots. All right. And the other thing is balance your keyword research against the fact that your content is going to be served to people right out there. You want to build up the fact that when you publish a video, it's going to be put in front of people. And people, they're not just finding it in search. It's going to be served out to people. So don't make it so optimized that it's undigestible for a normal person who ends up on the homepage like I showed you. You want those people, the minute your video is published and it gets served to a few people, you want it to be compelling. You want it to be interesting. You want a great title. You want a great thumbnail. Because your video, much like mine did, remember when I showed you guys my homepage? Let me click back over here for a second. Let me find this one. So back on my homepage, remember when I showed you my homepage? This is my homepage, my YouTube homepage, right when I log in. Now, do you think that Nick Nimmin is, I'm sorry, this is actually Roberto's. Do you think that Roberto is building this to be discovered against, Mark Bones, why I bought an FX9 and not a C500 Mark II? He's not, but he's building it in a way where it stands out no matter where it is. Look at his nice, strong thumbnail, and look at the compelling elements in there. His title is Huge Mistakes Small YouTubers Make. That is a big target for him. Super compelling. As a person from the outside, and the thumbnail even says small YouTuber mistakes. And he says in the title, huge mistakes small YouTubers make. I see that whether it's on my homepage or whether I was searching for it or whether it was recommended next to another video, which would be suggested. I go, man, Roberto's got a strong piece of content here. Look at that. I want to know what huge mistakes small YouTubers make. I want to click and find out what those mistakes are. So think about the ways that those things can work together for you, okay? Super important. I got a couple seconds here. Is anybody in the chat room? Did you have any questions that I missed there? If you have one, throw it in here real quickly. I'll take a peek. I want you guys to think about, and I've said this before, we have the channel memberships that are up there, the join button down below and the link down below that. It's $4.99 a month. You can cancel at any time. And we talk about these things every single day of the week in our Facebook group. And there's all kinds of content that's just designed for channel members. And we have these kinds of live streams where we actually pull up the members' channels and we rip them apart because they're private. I can actually pull up a channel and we can look at the content and we play the videos and we talk about the titles and the target. If you're interested in being a channel member, absolutely make sure that you click the join button. It's a lot of fun. It's a great group we have there. Do we have any questions? Snap, it's Daniel. There it is. You do it. What's going on, Regger? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, definitely sign up for the membership. It's a ton of fun. The community that we have, and I totally agree with Laura Norda, the creator community we have is super strong. We love supporting each other. And any way that we can do it, I'm just a fan of doing it. Guys like Paul Peck, who I actually get to see when we go out to the conventions and stuff. I run into Paul, run into Roger Wakefield. Just a lot of fun to have the people that I talk to in here. We actually have conversations in real life. So, listen, I think I've given you everything you need to know. There are links down in the description for a lot of these things we talked about. I'm going to put this up for replay afterwards. If there are any questions that you need answered, drop them in the comments section after the replay post, and I will absolutely get down there and answer those questions to the best of my ability to make sure you guys have the information you need to get your videos discovered on YouTube. I love you guys. It's been fantastic. Thanks for hanging out, and you guys stay safe, all right?